going to try to be concise right now. I am playing around with the concept of, or just not concept really, but just the idea of doing like these very brief videos. So at least it'll be done and then I can post it quickly. I can export it from Final Cut quickly because it's been taking like 4 hours to export my video. It's ridiculous when it's like a 20-minute video. Like, what the hell's going on with my computer? I don't know. But basically, these short, sort of little summary, short videos, right? Almost clip like videos on the different categories just to fill out my channel, at least visually. Um, so, anyways, here's a little stage presence um, commentary video. I want to be really, really clear that stage presence in performance, such as in the arts or even public speaking, lecturing, etc. Obviously, that includes also the arts, including pretty much any medium you can imagine. In terms of live performance or videotaped non-live, videotaped not live streamed performance. Um, that is a skill that you can get better at, just like how improvisation in general, or specifically in music, or even in stand-up comedy, improvising stand-up comedy, that is a skill you can get better at. These are all things that have a technical, to some degree or at some level, have a technical DNA layer. Now, there may be a deeper sort of layer, if you will, metaphorical layer of, or symbolic layer of, that maybe it comes from a deeper source than technique, right? Pure inspiration or expression or emotions or whatever, right? But there are always systems and patterns and stuff like that that arise when you, let's try to sketch this out. Like when a life form, actually it's not even about life forms. When something that exists that is involved with energy in some way. So in other words, like anything in the universe, really. The very fact that it exists means there was a whole lot of processes, systematic type processes occurring at some level for it to get to the point of being of existing, right? So let's take it a little less weird, abstractly. Speaking for a life form, for example, um, sorry, what am I trying to say? For a life form, hold on. Sorry, I'm a little tired. For a life form, I'm losing my train of thought. What the hell was I talking about? I'm not high, but it's just that when I didn't get quite enough sleep, then you're trying to talk about something deep. It's like, what the fuck? Spacey. For a life, for a living organism. But let's just say for a human, right? Conscious, self-conscious, whatever entity, like a human, self-aware. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm kind of messing this up because this was supposed to be a short video. Maybe it's not going to be a short video. The title will say short, but actually not short. So Joe Rogan, talking with Earthquake the comedian, said you can't learn how to improvise. You can't like learn just like off the top of your head stand-up comedy, like not planned. You can't get better at that. Now I don't know if he 100% thinks that 1,000% to be true. Probably not. Like I'm sure he thinks you could, you know. But I was just imagining myself because I was like, Joe, no, dude, that's like improvisation. You can totally learn how to improvise. And I know he wouldn't be mad at me for disagreeing because he's not like that. So, um, well, let's look at that real quick. The wait, what was this whole video about? Shit, I'm sorry. I'm gonna pause it for a sec. Right. So this video was about stage presence. So yes, you can get better at that, and I am attempting to sketch out some potentially shaky broad strokes here as to the theory behind why one can get better at anything, even the arts, which is one of those places where there's all these sort of myths about you have to be just a natural musician in order to be able to do a cool guitar solo, like as a lead guitarist or something like that. Like you have to have sort of been born with it. No, I don't think that's true. And now I don't remember the name, but there's this. I believe it was at UC Santa Cruz. There was this, like faculty member in the computer science department who apparently or supposedly, um, created this software. I forget what it was called. It was called like CENE or some acronym or something that could compose in the style of Bach or in the style of various composers, essentially an AI, program. And you couldn't tell the difference between an actual Bach piece, like even I suppose even a famous Bach piece, and like one of this computer's creations. Now that's hard to believe, but if that's true, and not only for Bach, but it could do it for other composers as well, because there's a vast range of com- different essentially systems that different composers use, which are just highly personal. I mean, it's not even a system. It's like the system of that composer. It's like what did they do? It's a whole bunch of different stuff that they might have been doing as part of their system, which is really just who are they, what are they able to do and capable of, and how did they, you know, go about getting their stuff on paper or whatever created. Uh, so anyways, if that's true, I mean that is remarkable. But what that shows us, and let's say it's at least partially true, or to some degree it's true. Anecdotally, I can tell you that when I was recently working on a new song, or just from personal experience, I feel that this is potentially highly true. We know that the, you know, that the AI that beat the not only the chess master, I forget his name, but or a bunch of different chess masters, but then the Go master, Lee something, who's considered like this like genius, like next level. Because see, in Go, you don't even know how you don't even really know how you're so good because it's like you can't even consciously think that big unless you're just like an utter mathematical genius. But this guy, like, it was like far beyond like so many other people, or like maybe everyone else, I think. Lee something. And he got his butt kicked. Well, he did pretty well. I think he won one or maybe even two out of 3 or 4 games. But so that was crazy, right? And then just for me, for like personal experience, when I was working on this new song, um, as soon or when I used to be composing more sort of classical or jazz classical third stream type stuff, which I'll try to remember to put a link to, or you could go to my Bandcamp. You could just go to my Bandcamp. The piece called Interspersion is that's my big piece that I wrote. I haven't written a bunch of pieces or anything, but that's like the sort of the big one that I wrote. It's like 18 minutes long. Took a lot of work, but um, it's for a 9-piece chamber ensemble. But my point is here is that when I was writing that, or when I was working on this new song recently, um, as soon as you take a systematic approach and literally override that systematic approach over a sort of inspirational or intuitive approach that you were trying to do, but maybe you were a little stuck. As soon as you do a systematic approach, there's a logic to what you're doing. It generally sounds good. Like all it has to be is that there has to be a certain logic to it, and it'll actually sound like not crap. Now it might not sound great, or it might not be optimal yet, or whatever, perfect, whatever. But so for me personally, the fact that that sounds as good as something that I would have come up with just like some sort of inspirational improvisatory thing, like, oh, let me just try one more time to figure out this piano melody that I want to, this keyboard synthesizer melody that I want to have floating in here during this section, at the end of this section, you know, hear it in my head and then or just try to hear it in my head and then figure that out, or just improvise it. If you take a systematic technical, just pure technical analytic approach, the results are really quite good. And so, therefore, if that's true for me in music, it's going to be true in any medium, generally speaking, certainly like some technical medium like engineering or something, if I was pursuing that. And so, yes, you can get better at stage presence, you can get better at improvisation of any kind in any medium, and you can teach how to get better at that, and you can develop a whole curriculum on that. And so it is a main area of interest, and because it really does go really deep down a certain rabbit hole. And I've talked a little bit about it before here and there. um, I did actually do that recently about the Joey Calderazzo performing with Branford Marsalis at Newport Live. You can try to find the video. Ideally, I would post it in the link, but I probably won't remember to do that, honestly, unless I rewatch this whole video, which I'm probably not going to do, but maybe. I talked about that in a previous video where he's like smiling, and then Jeff Tain Watts smiling, laughing, and then it's like, why are they, the whole comedy thing, right? And if I haven't mentioned it already, Grupo Afro Cuba de Matanzas, one of the most amazing folkloric Afro-Cuban music, ensembles um, in the world. Obviously, or in Cuba, from Cuba, one of the most famous ones. So the lyrics, so their masterpiece album. Well, they have a few things out, but the just fabulously produced album, the whole thing is just great, like super high quality. All that is the one called Raíces Africanas, which means African roots. So Grupo Afro Cuba de Matanzas, Raíces Africanas is the name of the album. And so on Agua do Coloya, which is, I don't know what that means, but I'm thinking it's probably Yoruba. Maybe it's track 9 or something, which is a what is it? It's a 6/8, but it's like this trippy 6/8 that sounds like a 4/4. Boom dee dag doom bee, doom dee dag doom. Dang doom dee dag doom dee dang dang dee dang 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 dee dang doom dee dag doom dee. Anyways, the lyrics, when I took the lesson with Sandy Perez, the lead quinto drummer, what do you call it? It's not Quintero, right? The lead quinto player. It's like a family, like the group, they're like a family. It's like cousins and different family members and stuff, and then maybe non-family, I'm not sure, but it seems like it's mostly family. Um, so he said the lyrics, because he lives or used to live in California, and so he said that the lyrics were like, he translated the lyrics for me. I was like, dude, I wrote out all the lyrics in like Yoruba, or maybe I wrote out most of it. I think I wrote all of it. I was like, do you know like what this means? Because it would be really cool to find out. And he was like, oh yeah, I can translate it for you, which is pretty impressive that he was able to do that, because he's like, for his age, he's like surprise, like he shouldn't be that much of a master at that age. You know what I mean? Like super, super, super good. But anyways, um, notice I have implied degrees of mastery, the existence of degrees of mastery. Nuance. Anyways, the lyrics were ridiculous, but the melody is hauntingly beautiful and super expressive and like just awesome. So you can check it out. I'm not even gonna sing it right now. I'm not gonna try singing it because it wouldn't be as good. But the lyrics were ridiculous, like just like dumb. And I was like, "Are you serious? That's really the translation?" He was like, "Yeah, like it makes no sense." And I was like, "That's so weird, dude." Because the lyrics were like, I don't even want to paraphrase it because I don't even know. It was just bizarre, nonsensical, silly sounding stuff that made no sense, and yet the melody was this powerful melody. So that's, what does that tell you? It tells you that, my point is, and then I'm going to stop. My point is that you can do something really emotionally powerful and expressive and like serious sounding and all that. But at the same time, there's an element of play that it's not anything serious, that you're just messing around. And hey, look, here's the proof in the pudding that I'm messing around, because even though this is a serious sounding thing and it's awesome and the rhythms are crazy and the singing is like the best ever, some of the best singing ever, honestly. And the production is beautiful, on that whole album. The lyrics are completely goofy. So it's always okay to have a comedic element in there. Okay. And so we'll talk more about that. But, again, the, yeah, I'm going to stop there because I've talked about this before. So that's the general idea. Um, and thanks, and I'll see you next time.